Hello and welcome to Nationwide. Good to have you join us. I am Lydia Bassi, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo is to sign the 2017 budget. A tweet by Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the Acting President, says, and I quote, "When the time comes, everything is set and he is satisfied. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo will assent the 2017 budget." End of quote. The federal government restated its desire to champion the patronage of made in Nigeria goods as part of policies designed to grow the economy. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at the launch of Made in Nigeria goods in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
The federal government's Economic Recovery Growth Plan is developed to restore the economy by leveraging on the ingenuity and resilience of Nigerians. It is in line with this that the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, emphasized the federal government's commitment to diversify the economy, and one sure way of getting it right is to patronize products manufactured locally.
This administration has, in the last 2 years, put in place measures that will ensure that never again will be held hostage by one single commodity. And of course, industrial growth, production, consuming what you eat and producing what you use is one single philosophy of this government.
The ease of doing business policy is another positive move by the federal government to encourage the provision of goods and services.
This government is determined to ensure that we move at least 20 steps, up the rank of the world global standard of doing business. We have, for instance, been able to achieve 31 major reforms across 8 major indicators in the area of doing business, starting from movement of passengers and goods to the time it takes you to register companies.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment said his ministry is determined to promote made in Nigeria goods as a deliberate way of changing the psyche of Nigerians from dependence on foreign goods and services.
The whole idea is that we're going to use our industrialization program to ensure that it is easier and cheaper and more attractive to produce the goods here. We have to obviously lead by example. We are working with all the ministries, departments and agencies of government to ensure that we buy more made locally.
We are highly determined to implement this media campaign aimed at changing the psyche of Nigerians from our dependence on foreign goods and services, reorienting us to value what is produced locally in order to develop a strong and vibrant industrial base.
It's not for pride, it's not for arrogance, but for pride in the Nigerian spirit. We are proud to have done it in Nigeria.
Records show that in 2015 alone, over 6.7 trillion naira was spent on importation of goods and services for which the country can produce locally. 1.9 trillion naira was spent on importing foods and drinks, 1.5 trillion on spare parts, 123.1 billion on shoes and clothes, and 399 billion on household items. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Senate has asked the Director General, National Lottery Commission, Adolphus Joe Ekpe, to stop discharging official duties until due process is followed in his appointment. The decision was taken based on Order 43 of the Senate rules presented by the Senate leader, Ahmed Lawan. He confirmed that the Director General, following investigation by the Senate, is discharging official duties.
The conclusion on the side of the executive is he erred because probably he didn't get the correct briefing, that he should have waited until the due process and due diligence were completed.
Satisfied with the report, the Senate President Bukola Saraki said the Director General remains barred till further notice.
The point raised by Senator Dino was factual, and that got the assurances that these kind of thing, we must stamp it out and must not occur again.
The House of Representatives has rejected a bill seeking to provide punishment for stigmatization of victims of insurgency and militancy. Those who argued against it said such law is already provided in the Nigerian Constitution.
And I've seen the victims, those that were kidnapped by the Boko Haram insurgents, by the militants, and after rehabilitation or they escaped, the society usually stigmatize them and refuse always to integrate them. To some extent, they become again a victim in the society. There must be, sir, a mechanism to be created by law of this country to punish those that trying to discriminate these people.
What the mover or the sponsor of the bill is trying to address has already been covered in the Constitution. The Constitution talks about discrimination. And it says clearly that you shall not discriminate based on the circumstances of your birth. It's provided for clearly in black and white.
Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara says the Not Too Young to Run bill, which passed second reading at the House, is an indication that the National Assembly is committed to enacting laws that will engender more youth participation in governance. He stated this at second sitting and third session of the Nigerian Youth Parliament in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
Explain youth emancipation priority of the National Assembly in its legislative actions and interventions. Speaker Yakubu Dogara says the Not Too Young to Run bill has been referred to the Constitutional Amendment Committee for consideration. The bill, amongst other issues, is seeking to reduce age limit of candidates by 5 years to increasing the eligibility of youths for elective positions. Speaker Dogara challenged the Youth Parliament to come up with ideas that will engender youth development in all ramifications and key into the federal government's developmental programs.
A major challenge afflicting Nigeria's youth population is unemployment. And as your elected representatives, this gives us nightmares. It is also my strong view that the creativity and innovations of the young people are critical elements in engendering economic growth and development.
Taking them down memory lane, Deputy Senate President Ike Kuremadu advocated true federalism, which he believes will fast-track the nation's socio-economic development. Pioneer Speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament and the incumbent Speaker of Akwa Ibom Assembly, Luke Onofiok, urged them to erase political, ethnic, and religious divisions for nation building. The Youth Parliament had debated on motions including the need to empower underage mothers and insecurity in the Northeast and corrupt practices. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Department of Petroleum Resources says the commercial bank account it operates is for the safety of the staff in compliance with global sector safety rules. The director, Mordecai Ladan, made the clarification when he appeared before the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating the allegation. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu has that.
The mandate of the House Ad Hoc Committee is to investigate why the funds belonging to the agency was not limited to the consolidated account in line with the federal government's directive. Chairman of the committee, Jarigbe Egum Jarigbe, sought to know the selection process of the company managing the department's staff safety program.
It will be necessary to deal with the issues exhaustively so that we don't continue going forth and back on this issue.
Director of the DPR told the ad hoc committee that there is a government approval for the program. He said due process was followed.
We ensure that we conduct our supervision in line with the international and local rules that have been set in.
The committee's investigation on the matter continues. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Senate President Bukola Saraki has raised concern over the inability of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, to meet the objective of safeguarding the health of all Nigerians. This was at a public hearing by the Senate Committee on Health on a bill that seeks to appeal the NHIS Act and enact National Health Insurance Commission Act. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
The bill seeks to ensure a more effective implementation of a health insurance policy that will enhance greater access to health care and effectively regulate health insurance scheme in Nigeria. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, in a message delivered by the Deputy Majority Leader, Bala Ibn Naala, says this can only be achieved in the country by making insurance mandatory and subsidy available for those unable to afford insurance premium.
It was set up to allow Nigerians to make contributions into fund so that in the event of illness, contributions could be accessed easily from the pooled funds to provide affordable health care.
Supposing let us have a mandatory contribution by all Nigerians that can afford it. If it's only 100 naira per person, with our population, we can have more than 12 billion every month from 100 naira per person.
Executive Secretary, National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, Professor Usman Yusuf, spoke on the need to strengthen the current act and make NHIS more accountable.
We can change the bill, name it whatever we want, put a billion, trillion naira. If we are not accountable to our people, we'll be where we are.
Concerned persons in the health sector also made inputs.
When at the state level, we were discussing how the public sector will be funded.
Back as a group and come up with one submission, I think that is very okay.
The committee is optimistic that if the bill is passed into law, it will ensure health care for all and provide for the poor and vulnerable in the society. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
It's still nationwide. Let's join Jennifer in our Lagos Network Center for more stories from that zone. Jennifer, do take it from here.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has urged the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos to strike out the motion and notice filed by the former gubernatorial candidate in Anambra State and oil magnate Ifeanyi Uba, seeking orders for his release from the custody of the Department of State Security Service, DSS. Vera Chimuba, who was in court today, now reports.
The former gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, Ifeanyi Uba, had filed a motion on notice seeking orders for his release from the custody of DSS. Counsel to NNPC Turaki, in challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear and determine the suit, stated that the alleged infringements committed by the plaintiff took place in Abuja and not Lagos. He asked the court to decline jurisdiction and strike out the suit. Counsel to the Department of State Security Services, Peter Okerimade, aligned his argument with that of counsel to NNPC and urged the court to dismiss the plaintiff application. Okerimade, who also adopted the DSS counter-affidavits and preliminary objection, said Uba's motion is aimed at frustrating the ongoing investigation on the allegation leveled against him by the NNPC. However, counsel to Uba Isioma Esam asked the court to discountenance the objection raised by the respondents. She told the court that NNPC is currently owing her client's firm, Capital Oil and Gas Limited, naira and $8 million, which he has not reported NNPC to any security agency. She further told the court that her client was arrested on 2 occasions in Lagos and kept at the Shangisha custody of DSS before being transferred to Abuja. Uba's counsel therefore urged the court to grant his client's application by ordering the DSS to release him unconditionally or in the alternative admitting to bail pending the determination of the suit. The DSS had detained Ifeanyi Uba since the 6th of May following allegation by the NNPC of theft and diversion of petroleum products stored in his tank farm. Obang had approached the court for an order compelling the DSS to release him unconditionally, which the respondents are objecting to. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Still on legal matters, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has fixed the 19th of June for the adoption of oral evidence in suit against the Nigerian Customs Service over assault of a journalist, Otuba Olomofe. Viera Chumuba again reports.
Branch of the Nigerian Union of Journalists had filed a suit on behalf of the Badagry-based journalist, seeking enforcement of his fundamental rights to life, freedom of expression, and the press. Joined as respondents in the suit are the then Comptroller General of Customs, Abdullahi Diko Ndi, the Semi-Area Comptroller of Customs, Mohammed Ndalati, and Emmanuel Nkendilim, a Deputy Comptroller of Customs. Others include Ibrahim Turaki, an Assistant Comptroller, Suleiman Momo, and Shehu. At the last adjourned date, the applicant, Olomofe, had in his oral evidence recounted before the court how he was assaulted by some men at the premises of the Nigerian Customs at Seme-Border. He had informed the court that he was tortured and brutalized and eventually dumped into a pit. The applicant, who was led in cross-examination today by the respondent's counsel, Adobe, told the court that he believed that the Nigerian Customs Seme-Border is harboring smugglers. He further told the court that the command is shielding 6 to 8 respondents who carried him physically to the refuse pit near the Seme-Customs warehouse from justice. The applicant is claiming the sum of 500 million naira from Nigerian Customs. Further hearing continues on the 19th of June. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
As part of activities to commemorate Lagos at 50 and address the challenges of human and vehicular gridlock in the state, the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has commissioned the newly constructed Aja Jubilee Bridge on the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and the Abule-Egba Jubilee Bridge in Agbado, Oke-Odo, local government area of the state. Nosa Osula, who witnessed the event, completes the report.
Lekki-Ekpe Expressway is a strategic expressway with huge traffic-bearing capacity. The emergence of the axis as one of the fastest-growing property and business corridors in West Africa has led to the corresponding increase in human activities with high volume of vehicular traffic. Both residents and road users along this axis have clamored for a solution to the traffic along the expressway, especially at the Aja roundabout. According to Governor Akinwumi Ambode, the project was conceived to resolve the perennial gridlock at Aja Ado, Baduri, Lekki Etiosa Expressway roundabout and environs, with the intention that the Lagos-bound traffic along the expressway is effectively channeled into Freedom Road and Admiralty Way.
We have to give this project priority because of its strategic importance to the economic growth of the Lekki Free Trade Zone and the Lekki-Ekpe axis.
The commissioning of the Abule-Egba Jubilee Bridge, Ambode stated that the project will ultimately improve the socio-economic activities in the axis.
This is just a continuation of interest in trying to decongest the traffic situation around Lagos, and we think we are on the right path. It's also coinciding with the 50 years celebration of this state.
The Aja Jubilee Bridge is 160 meters long with dual carriageway and a total length of 620 meters ramp with service lanes, while the Abule-Egba Jubilee Bridge is 700 meters of 7.3 meters dual carriageway. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
This is still the NTA Nationwide News. Now back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide News. Lydia, over to you.
Many thanks, Jennifer. A clampdown operation by the Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe has led to the rescue of 2 kidnapped victims and recovery of large cache of ammunition from sea pirates in Bayelsa State. Gabriel Amunike has details of the report.
The commander Operation Delta Safe, Rear Admiral Apochi Suleiman, disclosed that over the weekend the command raided identified camps and shrines of sea pirates, kidnappers and vandals at Oluwasiri and Egbidiama Creek, Embras and Ikarama local government areas respectively. 1 out of 2 kidnapped victims, according to him, sustained injury during a clampdown operation against the sea pirates. The victim, he said, is presently recuperating in a hospital at Port Harcourt.
The Joint Task Force
Operation Delta Safe is resolved in its operational activities to ensure peaceful socio-economic environment within the Niger Delta region for business to strive. That brings me to the mandate of the force, which is essentially to protect oil and gas infrastructure, deter and prevent sea robbery, crude oil theft, militancy, and any other forms of criminality that will affect or impact negatively on the economy.
The commander, who emphasized that criminals are humans living amongst the people, called on the members of the public to give useful information to the command.
Environment of criminals to ensure that socio-economy flow under peaceful atmosphere.
Meanwhile, one of the rescued victims appreciates officers and men of the command for their efforts.
As Navy came, they are just run away. And then I try, stand. They follow the houses like this. I come into the road, come out. Now one Navy man come, open my eyes like this. As the Navy man come open my eye, I can see say yes, this is now Nigeria. Maybe I come happy very well, then take me down to their gumboot.
Items recovered from the criminals' hideouts include 3 pistols, 1 HK-21E rifle, and 1 12.7 mm gun, amongst others. In Yenegua, Gabriel Amunike, NTA News.
3 years after academic activities were built to take off at the Nigerian Maritime University, Okerenko in Delta State, the institution has remained abandoned with its gate under lock and key. Eloho Agbra, who visited the sites at Kurutie and Okerenko, said the residents are, however, happy at the federal government's renewed interest towards making it a world-class citadel of learning.
This is the Nigerian Maritime University, Okerenko, Kurutie takeoff site. The news of this addition to the country's education system, greeted with applause and high hopes, was however short-lived, as the buildings have been overtaken by weeds in what can be rightly described as a ghost community. The opening of the temporary site and the groundbreaking of the permanent site was done on the 19th of May 2014. NTA crew was greeted with dusty lecture halls and rodents which have turned them into marathon routes. For 2 years, the resources expended into this project have not yielded any value. It goes without saying, therefore, that the situation which has fallen short of the community's expectation has become a source of concern to stakeholders in the Niger Delta region.
And that school is not therefore only Niger Delta or only Okerenko. It belongs to the whole world.
If the school kick off, there will be an employment to the youth in Delta State, not just Delta, Baramatu as a whole, and Nigeria.
Because of the intake of students and staffs that will be coming in, the economy here will actually boom. It will increase economic activities around here.
To change this unpalatable narrative, the federal government has set up a 5-man interagency committee to ensure the takeoff of academic activities in the institution before the end of the year.
We want to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for giving executive fiat for this Nigerian Maritime University, one of its kind, to kick off. It's not just a university, it's a professional university that will enhance and create income for Nigeria. So we are very, very happy as a people.
Elo Agbra, NTA News.
This is NTA Nationwide. We now join Asma'u in our Sokoto studio for more reports from that zone. Good to see you, Asma'u.
Good to see you too, Lydia. Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol of Sokoto State says measures taken on matters surrounding local government staff salaries were meant to sanitize the system and not to witch-hunt anybody. He was speaking at the Sokoto East Zonal meeting of the stakeholders of All Progressives Congress, APC. Elhat Abdullahi completes the report.
The zonal meeting of the APC brought together elders and other stakeholders to discuss issues bothering the ruling party. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said local governments are facing challenges of inadequate funding, as a result of which they cannot pay salaries of their staff. in addition to some identified irregularities that led to verification of staff and subsequent centralization of payment of salaries of local government staff. He stated that after the verification, 278 million naira was recovered after the payment of last month's salaries of the local government staff. Northwest Zonal Vice Chairman, Barrister Inu Abdul Qadir, who said APC is proud with the stewardship of Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol in Sokoto State. Senator representing Sokoto East, Ibrahim Abdullah Gobir, described the zonal meeting as timely. Sokoto East Zonal Chairman of the party, Salima Eka Tambagarka, said APC will continue to remain the best option for Nigeria and the Nigerians. Elders from the zone that include Ambassador Abubakar Shehu Urno, former Senator Salihu Bakoy, Sabon Birni, and the former Senator Belaj Brigada raised issues that include challenges experienced by wheat farmers in the state, conditions of local government councils, and the need to pay more attention to security matters. In Sokoto, Dalhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
As part of effort to revive education in the state, Kebbi State government has embarked on teacher professional development program aimed at improving the quality of teaching in the state. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
The series of programs are the 5-day workshop of computer appreciation and application where 200 teachers participated, the retraining of 400 secondary school teachers on 5 arts and social sciences subjects, as well as a retreat for all education stakeholders in the state. Governor Abubakar Atiku Baburi described years of underinvestment in education coupled with frustration among teachers has contributed to the near collapse of the sector in the state.
Blame game is not going to solve the problem in our educational sector. The only way we can begin to make a difference is to appreciate, yes, we can all do better and begin to do better.
The Commissioner of Education, Alhaji Muhammadu Magawata Aliyu, who expressed the determination of the present administration to revive education, pointed out that qualified teachers and adequate fund will be injected into the sector for quality output.
We have training for 500 science teachers. This shows us that our Amina has passion for education.
Some participants expressed satisfaction that with such commitment from government, education sector will regain its old glory. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
In Sokoto, like many other parts of the country, rainy season comes along with devastation like flooding and windstorm, which usually claims lives and property. In this report, Muhammad Nasir takes a look at the management of natural disasters, especially by the agencies saddled with such responsibilities.
Every year, rainy season is often characterized by natural disasters such as flooding and windstorm. Sometimes human actions like building houses on waterways and dumping of refuse and drainages cause flooding. Natural and man-made disasters always cause havoc. The dangers posed by flooding are devastating, and that compel any responsible government to take preventive measures, while concerned citizens engage in the silting of drainages through communal efforts. National Emergency Management Agency, the body still with the responsibility to respond to disasters, says it has held stakeholders meeting to sensitize public on the importance of good drainage system, among other things.
Also, police have their own role, and they will play their own role. And inshallah, the issue of devastating disaster in Sokoto will be a thing of the past.
Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency also engaged in public enlightenment to educate people to guard against occurrence of such disasters.
We started having some of these kind of disasters. Right now I'm talking to you, my staff are in Tambol and Shagari local governments on the assessment of disaster assessment on storm that happened last week.
Experts believe that planting trees to serve as windbreakers assist to minimize windstorm, which often result in destruction of structures and displacing victims. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And that's our package from Sokoto. Is back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Asma'u. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. House Committee investigates raids on member. Details after this timeout. Don't go away.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
The StarTimes Combo Decoder is here for you. An advanced technology from StarTimes that combines the dish and antenna both in one decoder. This decoder is packed with all your favorite news and entertainment channels like Fox, Fox Life, IDX, National Geographic Channel, Star Plus, BBC, Al Jazeera, POP, live matches on ST World Football, and over 120 exciting channels. Get the StarTimes Combo Decoder for just 13,900 Naira and enjoy great entertainment for the entire family. So, go ahead, eat your cake and have it with the StarTimes Combo Decoder. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
This is television reborn. Enjoy more than 200 channels. No decoder needed. The real digital TV is here. StarTimes Digital TVs.
Admission forms for the 2017-2018 academic session of NTA Television College JAWS into its diploma programs are now on sale. The diploma programs are in film and TV production, broadcast journalism, and TV engineering technology. Applicants are required to have at least 5 credits, including English language and mathematics at SSC, NECO, or GCO levels in not more than 1 sitting. Application forms can be obtained from the TV College Refi JAWS or at any NTA zonal centers nationwide on payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 Naira in bank draft in favor of NTA Television College. Completed application forms should be returned to the Office of the Academic Secretary, NTA Television College, or the Center of Purchase on or before 28th of July 2017. For further inquiries, please call 0806 980 9807 or 0703 660 7155. NTA Television College, training you to be the best you can be.
TV Guide magazine is out with fabulous Fab Funke Akindele Bello, aka Jennifer, adorning the cover. She opens a secret not known even to her family. Find out the secret. NTA turns 40 this year. The challenges, the emerging trends in broadcasting, and the way forward. Weekend Dealer 2. Meet the team behind the biggest deal on NTA. Is food still the way to a man's heart? If not, what else? This edition is hot and juicy. Meet your star faces on screen. Entertainment, fashion, young minds, social media, and great personality.
This is idiosyncratic and heterodox.
Yes, Professor John Bull is on the radar. Find out what makes this program the rave of the moment on NTA Network, and for the Prof,
over and out.
TV Guide. Ask your vendors or book your copy at every NTA station nationwide. TV Guide. Still your indispensable companion.
Hi, my name is Shego Arinde, and Nigeria is my country. A country of 180 million hard-working people. In more advanced countries like the UK, the US, Canada, lottery has produced billionaires in big lottery money. And several charities have gotten funding from lottery plays. If we all play lottery, we can together produce millionaires and billionaires in Niger. And that can be. With give and take, everyone who plays with little has equal opportunity of winning big money. Give and take. Win big, live your dreams.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. Nigerian Army and police strengthen relationship for peace and security for your state. Details of this as we join Fatai in our Ibadan Network Center. Over to you, Fatai.
Thank you, Lydia, and welcome to the Cradle of Television, Ibadan. The two divisions, Nigerian Army, Ibadan, and the Oyo State Command of the Nigeria Police, are strengthening their relationship to sustain the peace and security in the state. This was disclosed at a meeting of the heads of the two security agencies held in Ibadan. Femi Afolabi reports.
The visit of the Oyo State Police Commissioner Abiodun Odude to the GOC 2 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Chukwunedum Abraham, was principally to strengthen existing working relationship between the two security agencies. Abiodun Odude noted that a more collaboration between them will only result in effective resolution of security challenges in the state. Heads of the two agencies remarked that there is no competition between them, as the Constitution had spelled out areas of responsibilities for them.
Comradeship for us to find the meeting points where we have to, let our men know that we don't condone any form of fight. Well, of course, is to seek your face, to seek your assistance, to be able to get in touch with you when there is trouble, because we have been working together in different parts of the country.
Similarly, the General Officer Commanding 2 Division Nigerian Army hosted the Corps Commander, Corps of Signals Nigerian Army, Major General Clement Olukoju, who was on a familiarization tour of 52 Signals Brigade. The Signals Corps Commander assured the 2 Div of adequate training of its personnel in signal communication. In Ibadan, Femi Afolabi, NTA News.
Residents along Ajasekpo, Erinle, and Eruku roads have commended the federal government for the rehabilitation of their roads. Deborah Agbola reports that the rehabilitation work was carried out by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA.
Some of the ongoing rehabilitated roads by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency include Idofin Ajasekpo Road, Ilore Ote Oja Ogbomoso Road, Bodesadu Jeba Road, and Ajasekpo Erinle Eruku Road. Some of the rehabilitation were done through direct labor of FEMA. Although most of the works have reached appreciable level, residents along the roads enjoin the federal government to step up action on the roads for timely completion before the onset of full rains.
But what I expect is that they should please help us to do it very well.
People around here, we are very happy, and we even thank the government for what they are trying to do.
The Executive Director, West Operation of FEMA Abuja, Engineer Jethro Olawaye, and other FEMA officials while inspecting the ongoing rehabilitation expressed satisfaction with the level of work done and promised to complete the rehabilitation as scheduled.
We are trying to rid the road of potholes and sectional failures. Most of the potholes that have been causing accidents on the road have been mended. So I think I'm really impressed by what they are doing.
Deborah Agbola, NTA News.
A fire incident caused by a diesel-laden tanker along Eleyele, Olugweru area, Ibadan, has claimed a life and rendered some residents of the area homeless. Details in this report.
The fire was said to have started when a diesel-laden trailer lost control while trying to climb the hill, slipped back, crushed the car trailing behind it. The woman who drove the car got trapped in the inferno, while a church save and search Some buildings, despite the timely intervention of the fire service, went up in flames.
We are immediately at the back of the woman. As we discovered this woman was too slow to reverse, we left the woman, then we moved faster. The tanker was about climbing this hill a little bit, but due to the pressure, he couldn't mount it up when he lost his control. And the next thing, the fire just broke out.
And to assess the situation was the caretaker chairman of Ibadan Local Government Development Area, Samuel Ajadi.
That's it from Ibadan. It's back to Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thanks for Ty. Sad story there. Let's move on with our news. The federal government earmarked 2.24 trillion naira as key capital spending provisions in the 2017 budget. Inclusive are several infrastructural projects. Leveraging on this, Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank says for this financial year, it has mapped out strategies to significantly grow its market share. This it will achieve by keying into the federal government's drive to deliver homes to Nigerians through affordable and accessible mortgage finance. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This was at the 11th annual general meeting of the bank held in Abuja. Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank is one of the leading and most capitalized primary mortgage institutions in Nigeria. It has significantly increased its shareholders' funds from less than 50 million naira in 2003 to over 5 billion naira, with an unbroken record of consistency in dividend payment to shareholders for 9 years running. The bank has so far wholly or partly financed no fewer than 14 estates and delivered to over 3,000 Nigerian families in Abuja.
We need the will of the government and then to propel more people, our people, to believe in the fact that if the government votes money into the mortgage refinancing, particularly not only in NMRC but in almost every commercial and mortgage banks, homes cannot be provided for people from their own purses.
Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PLC says it has paid a cash dividend of 3 kobo per share to shareholders as of 2nd May 2017 and 7 kobo per preference share. This translates to a total of 167 million naira for the year ended 2016.
With the government efforts now, practical efforts now to, enhance the call for affordable housing, we believe that the future is very bright.
This is a bank that have shown quality leadership. It's a bank that have distinguished themselves in the sector they are operating, and also it's a bank that have maintained consistent dividend payment. So the shareholders are very delighted.
Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PLC currently has equity shareholding in the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The gubernatorial pension bill has been passed by the Enugu State House of Assembly. These and more stories with Chiogono standing by. Over to you, Chiogono.
Enugu State House of Assembly has passed the State Gubernatorial Pensions Amendment Bill. The passage of the bill preceded deliberations on 2 other amendment bills considered during the plenary. Susan Eze completes the story.
The passage of the Enugu State Gubernatorial Pensions Amendment Bill has granted past governors and deputies not captured by the Gubernatorial Pensions Law 2007 the right to enjoy pensions provided they were not impeached.
Bill number 5, 2017 has been read the 3rd time and is hereby passed.
To strengthen the state education sector to suit international best practices, 2 amendment bills easily scaled through second reading. The Enugu State Universal Basic Education Amendment Bill, seeking to provide for the early child care education in the public school system, as well as empower the State Commissioner for Education to oversee the activities of the State Universal Basic Education Board, received support of the members. Similarly, the Education Amendment Bill, last revised in 2004, is seeking to harmonize school curriculum and calendar to strengthen the Post-Primary School Management Board, regulate private institutions, as well as ensure certification and recertification of teachers. Both bills were referred to relevant committees for thorough scrutiny and amendment. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
In an effort to reduce unemployment in the southeast, the Anglican Communion Enugu Diocese has organized an entrepreneurship conference for youths and the people of the southeast. Nkechi Irebu was at the conference, which held at the Cathedral Church of the Good Shepherd, Enugu, and now reports.
Despite significant economic growth in the past decades in Nigeria, unemployment and lack of access to finance remain critical challenges facing the youths. In an effort to contribute its quota in confronting these challenges, the Eastern Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies, founded by the Anglican Diocese of Enugu, has created a platform for entrepreneurship training to benefit the clergy, laity, youths, and the public at large. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, represented by Mrs. Ndidi Muneli, said the government is taking steps towards improving entrepreneurship in the country through grants and loans, and advised the people of the Southeast to key into the available opportunities.
The Southeast multiplies the size of many countries. It's a big enough market for visionary entrepreneurship, even looking inwards first.
The Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province Anglican Communion said it is imperative to equip the younger generation with essential training to stand on their own in the absence of white-collar jobs.
We don't want to leave it in the hand of the government. We can also be able to protect some of these young ones to the government for them to assess loans and avenues.
There was also an interactive session for participants who spoke on the benefits of the conference. In Enugu, Nkechi Iroebu, NTA News.
That's the much we have from here in Enugu. Over to you now, Lydia, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Chegonu. Soccer came to some internally displaced persons in Zango and Baure local government areas of Daura Emirate of Katsina State, as the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons donated relief materials to them. Awal Haliru reports that the affected persons are staying with relatives.
Materials were distributed to 116 displaced persons, which include bags of rice, beans, sugar and cooking oil, among other food items. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, said the Commission is giving similar relief assistance to victims across the country, in line with the federal government's commitment to finding best solutions for families and communities affected by disaster. The Federal Commissioner added that the Commission would strive for displaced persons returned home or resettled and integrated into communities.
They should accept this kind gesture and they should make use of these items judiciously.
Some of the beneficiaries thanked the federal government for the relief assistance, adding that the move would impact positively on their living conditions. Governor Amini Bella Masari, while receiving the Federal Commissioner at the Government House, Katsina, expressed the need to move from ad hoc to more sustainable arrangement for the displaced persons. At the Palace of Emirs of Katsina and Daura, the Royal Fathers commended the federal government's commitment to address insurgency and other security challenges in the country. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
Conferees at a think tank meeting on humanitarian crisis in the Northeast are advocating intensified synergy and coordination to succeed as they applaud federal government efforts in curbing insurgency. Talato Ezerike has that report.
The Northeast, before the advent of insurgency, had a strong revenue generation based mostly from the Lake Chad Basin that caters for the socio-economic sustenance of the people. It has been observed that the inactivity of the basin due to insecurity accounts largely for the humanitarian crisis in the region, coupled with the challenges of effective coordinations. This necessitated the think tank conference by the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS. Minister of Interior in a message said the Institute's strategic response is stepped in the right direction in rebuilding the region.
Government is convinced
that efforts such as this will help in keeping Nigeria going, despite the various challenges the country has been confronted with over years.
The humanitarian crisis in the northeast of Nigeria, which began basically in 2009, led to widespread destruction of infrastructure.
For the representative of Borno State Governor, thumbs up for concerted efforts in tackling the humanitarian crisis.
Today, the Boko Haram insurgents has been irrevocably degraded and their infrastructures irreversibly decimated.
Similarly, a capacity-building conference to advance women's empowerment to be agents of change and peace was held in Abuja, with emphasis on them, whether in the public or private sector, to stand out.
The government is doing its best to bring up women, placing them in leadership position.
We can keep moving forward, developing ourselves, and with deep conviction, yes, we can do a lot more in politics in Nigeria and indeed in Africa.
The desired objective is in building women of excellence. Talat Izarike, NTA News.
Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has described the establishment of a digital capacity building center within NTA premises by the National Information Technology Development Agency as key to achieving the needed improvement in the sector. He said this during the commissioning of the center. Joseph Johnson reports.
Information technology cuts across all human endeavor because of speed, flexibility, and its relevance to the broadcast industry. To pride itself as a world-class television network, NTA has over the time witnessed continuous innovation, and the latest being a product of a partnership between the authority and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, a synergy preparatory for digital switchover.
This collaboration between NTA and NITDA will go a long way to improve the capacity of staff in NTA in areas of research and information technology.
What the center is all about is to try to build the capacity of Nigerians.
The Digital Capacity Building Center is local content driven, as the computer system is made in Nigeria by Omatech and furnished with licensed software to prevent vulnerability. 10 computer systems, e-learning server, a projector, power systems, solar, inverter and others were some of the donations made by NITDA. Now, the collaboration between the NTA and NITDA is very important to both parties. It's more like a win-win situation. And now with the commissioning of this Digital Capacity Building Center, it is expected that NTA staff who are beneficiaries will utilize this facility effectively in order to make television broadcasting much more professional. From the NTA headquarters, Abuja, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thanks, Joseph. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating a potential outbreak of law and order in Kano State is to invite the Inspector General of Police to explain the role of Special Anti-Robbery Squad officials in what it described as a politically motivated search of the residence of one of the members. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
The basis of the search, according to the petitioner, Representative Sani Mohammed Aliyu Rano, was an allegation that he was in possession of illegal firearms, ammunition and foreign currency. Following disputes over the authenticity of the search warrant, nothing was found at any of his properties. Mr. Rano's gripe, apart from the embarrassment caused, centered on his lawyer not being able to obtain signed documentation from SARS officials that nothing was found, as well as the magistrate's court that issued the search warrant being allegedly unable to provide copies of the search warrant and case diary.
My worship, you're supposed to give them the search warrant, duly signed by you, and the registrar must have copy for record purpose. You see, next time, Allah, this is what we are going to be doing. Because all these search warrants that we give nowadays, we don't have copies.
The magistrate court is saying, or affirm to your lawyer that they don't have record of the search warrant they issued.
Exactly.
It's completely untidy.
and is suspicious.
He believes it is politically motivated given another search at the house of the brother of former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, had taken place with nothing found. The committee will reconvene at a later date to engage the Inspector General of Police and other relevant authorities on the matter. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adigunloye, NTA News.
Next is Global Tidbits with Talatu Ezerike.
Goal of eliminating HIV/AIDS by 2030 has received a boost, with the United States approved plans to give the country $526 million over the coming year. The aid will bring the number of Tanzanians on HIV treatment to 1.2 million. This comes as security forces in the Democratic Republic of Congo say more than 3,000 prisoners are believed to have escaped when armed men attacked the country's main prison. From Japan, Princess Mako to lose royal status by marrying a commoner based on the country's imperial law. And former chairman and founder of Fox News, Roger Ailes, dies at 77. He ran Fox News since its launch in 1996. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Tamara Ebiwe is next with Sports Update.
Following their qualification for the 2017 World Beach Volleyball Championship, slated for